Sai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Sai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Sai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Guruve Gaura Chandaya Radhikaya Vidale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namo Shri Nandanandanam Bande Radhikaya Sharanadvayam Gopijana Samayuktam Vrindavan Manoharam Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Om Vishnu Padre Dandi Swami Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Gosai Maharaj, Ashiksha Gurus Dandi Swami, Sri Gaur Govinda Gosai Maharaj, Sri Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Gosai Maharaj, all Vaishnavas, Puja Sadhu, Pujapad Sadhu Maharaj, Hare Krishna. So today is appearance day of Srivas Thakur. Very much important day, especially since we accept the worship of the Panchatattva, the one absolute truth appearing in 5 features. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we cannot accept Krishna devoid of his opulences. Like, I accept Nanda Kumar but not his nose. Like this. Hand means 5 fingers. So, Krishna himself appearing in 5 ways. Panchatattva. So, Panchatattva Pakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa. First is Krishna appearing in the form of devotee, that is Lord Chaitanya. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa, and his Sarupakash, Nityananda. His Bhakta Avataram, the incarnation appearing as devotee, Mahavishnu Avatar, that is Advaita Charya. Bhakti Shakti, Krishna's Shrup Shakti, Krishna's Antarupa Shakti, appearing in the form of Gadadhar. And Bhakta Akyam, and the pure devotee. That pure devotee, of course, is Srivas Thakur. So, one form of Lord Chaitanya. So today is very fortunate. We'll speak about it. So, of course, we accept Srivas Thakur as belonging to the category of eternal associate of the Lord. And when you hear his life, then it also becomes very clear. 524 years ago, Lord Chaitanya personally, 520 years ago, yes, Krishna personally appeared in the form of his devotee. He's normally darkish complexioned, covered by golden form. Anta Krishna Bahir Gora, Jiva Goswami says. Inside he is Krishna, but he is not black. Atwisa Krishnam Sangha Upasanga Ashta Pashadam Yagne Shankitana Praya Yajantihi Sumedasa. Those who are very intelligent in Kali Yuga worship that golden form of Krishna. So he came for many reasons, we heard already. But he came also to give something. Premdas, Nijas, Koritya Swadan, Ragmag, Bhakti Loka Korite Parcharan. He came to give this Braja Bhakti, especially in this world. So before Lord Chaitanya appeared, first his Guru Jan came to make a platform. Who were they? Especially Advaita Charya. Maybe he appeared maybe 50 years before Lord Chaitanya, maybe more. Nityananda, of course, he appeared 14 years before Lord Chaitanya. And amongst them, prominently, is Srivas Thakur. 500 years ago, the world was in the symptoms that we read in the 12th canto Bhagavatam concerning the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Everything had appeared in the beginning of Kali Yuga. So much cheating, parents, children cheating their parents, wives cheating their husbands, even in ordinary business, non-business dealings between family members, so much cheating, so much hypocrisy, so much pride. Even if people would explain the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, they would never give devotional explanation. There was no chanting of the holy names. If someone chanted once a day while taking bath in the Ganga, Pundarik Aksha, this is the name of Lord Vishnu, whose eyes are like a lotus. If someone once a day chanted Pundarik Aksha, he was considered a supremely religious personality. Imagine. So that time there was a complete dearth, a complete lack of any type of devotion. People would spend millions of dollars on marriage ceremonies, birthdays, but no one was willing to give 1 ruble for the service of Hari Guru Vaishnava. So that time, in very dark period, Srivas Thakur is like a lighthouse. Srivas Thakur had how many brothers, Mahamantra? 4. Can you, for $10 million, can you just say the 4 brothers? Srinidhi, Sripati, Sriram and Nimai Pandit? Ramai Pandit, thank you. So 4 brothers and Srivas. No, Afu is only for Mahamantra. I'm not so foolish like I do. So, these brothers were one of the cause of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. We'll hear later when Lord Chaitanya manifested his personality as Vishnu. Then one of the reasons he expressed for his descent was the chanting of Srivas Thakur. Another one was the Nishta of Haridas Thakur. When Haridas Thakur was being beaten on the marketplace, he felt no pain. And Lord Chaitanya showed his backs covered by marks. I took that beating, you felt no pain. So Lord Chaitanya appeared because of the devotion of Haridas and also the chanting of Srivas Thakur and his brothers. Some devotees were there because they were Lord Chaitanya's eternal associates. Of course, Jagannath Mishra was Param Vaishnava. Then Jagadish and Hiranya, they were also Vaishnavas. There was Kolavecha Sridhar, there was Sukumbha, Brahmachari, like this. So devotees were there, but very scattered, very few. Many people would criticize, especially Srivas and his brothers, all night they would chant the holy names together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Loudly they would chant. The non-devotees would criticize them so much. They would say, Srivas has no job. Therefore, he doesn't have enough to eat. Therefore, him and his brothers, so much hungry at night. Haribol, Radhe Radhe, like this. So many people were against Srivas even in that time. They would criticize, why chant in the name of Bhagavan loudly? Now is Chaturmas. Vishnu sleeps for 4 months. But if they're loudly shouting at night, Vishnu will be awakened and very angry, then he will not send rains, everyone will starve to death. So others would say the mantra should not be chanted loud, it should be chanted internally. If you chant the mantra out loud, then the potency is lost. Many people would criticize. Hearing the criticisms of the non-devotees, Srivas and his brothers became sad, seeing the demonic nature of the general population, but still with great faith and affection, they would chant 9 times. So when Lord Chaitanya appeared, because also of the prayers of Advaita Acharya, of course, and Srivas, then he appeared in a hidden form. Prahlad Maharaj said in 7th canto. O Bhagavan, you appear in all species, fish species, pig species, animal, four-legged animal species, human-like species, and humans, amongst the demigods in the form of Brahman. But you also appear in a hidden form, Chana Avatar. So Krishna appeared in the form of Chaitanya Dev, but no one could understand, because Chaitanya acting like, also he didn't want anyone to understand, so who will understand? So of course, when Lord Chaitanya appeared, Srivas felt great happiness. But exactly why happy, he also could not understand. Something wonderful was happening, but what, he could not know. So at the birth ceremony, Srivas Thakur was there, along with his wife, Malini Devi. It described they brought so many gifts for the Lord, for the birth of Jagannath Mishra's son. So Nimai grew up, and he became absorbed in the pastimes of learning Vidya Vilas. He became famously known as Nimai Pandit. He had such a power, the first time his father tried to teach him, like when a child takes the Brahman thread, then his education begins. Because these scriptures cannot be taught to Sudras, so first the child takes Upanayan, then his education begins. So they gave a piece of chalk in the hand of baby Nimai, and first time seeing the alphabet, he wrote everything very beautiful. No mistakes. So in one day he learned all the alphabet, the conjuncts, the conjunctions of the verbs. So everyone was so astonished. So Srivas Thakur was there for the Upanayan ceremony of Nimai also. Because he was like Guru amongst the Brahmin community, Srivas Thakur. They say he is incarnation of Narad. So Nimai, fully absorbed in learning, he would give one explanation. Everyone would be astonished, then he would defeat his own explanation. Everyone would be astonished. He would defeat that explanation. And then he would prove the first thing he said, how that was correct. In this way he passed his time. Many students would come to Nimai, and to show the glories of the devotees, Nimai would torture them in various ways. Especially, he would engage them, and his beauty was such, anyone who saw him became stunned. And his voice was so sweet, he would engage the Vaishnavas in useless topics. Like that. So in this way the Vaishnavas would see him and try to avoid him. They would think, here's Nimai, he just wastes our time with discussion of Nyaya and grammar. So when they see him, they would try to escape. So the Vaishnavas would talk amongst themselves, Nimai's beauty, Nimai's erudition, his education, his learning, his all good qualities. They would say, Nimai Pandit has everything, but no bhakti. If Nimai Pandit had bhakti, we would never give up his Sangat even for a second, the devotees would pray. This way the devotees would pray to Bhagavan in the Ganga, oh Bhagavan, please make Nimai Pandit a devotee. So Nimai, of course, being the super soul, he heard their prayers and he would smile. Sometimes he would say, I will become such a Vaishnava, even Sukadev and Prahlad will worship me like this. And then the devotees would cover their ears, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So point being, sometimes on the road, Nimai would meet Srivas Thakur, and Nimai would do pranam to him. Then Srivas Thakur would say, oh Nimai, crest jewel of the arrogant, how are you wasting your time now? You are not discussing Krishna, you are just discussing all these foolish things and wasting human form of life. Don't you know perfection of life is to do bhajan? You must do bhajan of Krishna. He is life and soul, he is like mother and father. So Nimai would argue with everyone else, especially Gadadhar Pandit, Mukunda. But Srivas Thakur, he never argued. He just did pranam like that. Yes, he said, by your blessing, I will become Vaishnav one day. actually in a few days I will become Vaishnava, but I just want to study a bit more. Like this. So Srivas, so much Vatsalya is in him also. So much, he's not just Dasa of Mahaprabhu, so much Vatsalya is there, like now. So much Vatsalya. So Nimai Pandit, Srivas Thakur in his garden, he had one Malati vine. If you go there today, it's still there. And this Malati vine would give unlimited flowers. So every morning all the Vaishnavas would come to Srivas's house. And they would pick unlimited flowers like Sukumbha Brahmachari, Gadadhar Pandit, like this, Murari Gupta especially. They would come every day, discuss Hari Katha amongst them and pick flowers for worship of Bhagavan. So when Nimai Pandit came back from Gaya after taking Diksha from Ishwapuri, he fully changed. Especially next door to Srivas Thakur was one Brahmana who was very fond of reading the Bhagavatam. So Nimai Pandit coming home one night, he heard that Brahmana speaking, especially Barhabitam Natavarabapu Kanyo Kanikaram Viprapasat Kanakam Vajayantim Chamaram Rendrum Adasure Punayat Yatru Brindavan Yasapadaramanam Pravishat Gita, this famous verse of Bhagavatam, describing Krishna's beauty. When he enters the forest, surrounded by so many cowherd boys and all chanting his glories, Jai Kanaya, like this. Then how much attractive he looks, like Cupid with some vanamalas and forest, like this, very beautiful, describing his dark complexion, peacock feather. So Nimai Pandit heard this verse. Then he became completely intoxicated like a mad person, roaring, shouting, tell me more, I want. And the Brahman, each time he would speak another verse, Nimai would shout in ecstasy and weep and roll on the ground. So Sukumbha Brahmachari was watching this. What happened? What is this? Srivas Thakur, this news came to Srivas Thakur. So they became fully stunned. So morning time, all the Vaishnavas would come to pick flowers. Then Srivas Thakur said, Param Aishcharya Bhat Paramad Katha Parama Aishcharya Nimai Pandit Hoilo Parama Vaishnava. The most astonishing thing, Nimai Pandit has become a Vaishnava. So this word spread like fire amongst the Vaishnava community. Nimai Pandit became Vaishnava. All were fully shocked. They could not believe it. And Nimai so much changed. Before he was walking around like a king, like a lion, but now so humble. He would take the Vaishnava's cloth and dry it and wash their gumshoes and carry their baskets for puja, give them donations of fruits and bananas. So softly and gently he would speak. Everyone was so much astonished by his transformation. So Nimai also began manifesting some ecstatic symptoms. Who could understand what he was tasting? Especially he would roar and shout. He would run after some atheist and try to beat them like this. So no one could understand his ecstasies. Therefore everyone was giving their own opinion. The general opinion is now he has gone crazy. This is called Bata Dosh. Too much wind in the body, then head spins. Brigumad they call. So some were saying now he's mad, too much wind disorder, so they give Mother Sachi some medicinal oil to rub on his head. Some said, let him take bath in this oil in one tub, then he will become normal. Like this. They were doing all these medical treatments to make him normal. And then Srivas Thakur came there, and he saw the ecstasies in the body of Mahaprabhu. In Nimai, he asked, Srivas, is it true? Am I mad? People are saying I am mad. Is it true? But then Srivas, very learned person, this is not this sickness, even I want this sickness, this Hari Bhakti. Prahlad, Narad also want this type of sickness, this what you call disease. So Nimai, this is not madness, this is Vishnu Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Then how much regard Nimai had, he said, "Oh Srivas, you saved my life. If you had said I had become mad, I would have given up my life and entered the Ganga. But you saved me like this. I am not crazy. Some good thing has come." So like this. So Srivas, too much important. So for the first 23 years, Nimai remained completely hidden. And 1 year he manifested his devotion. And who he first manifested to was Srivas Thakur. Because the atheistic Brahmanas were complaining about Srivas Thakur's chanting the holy names. Also the Muslim community was disturbed. Why there's so much sudden Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. So many people were threatening Srivas will be pushed out of the community like this. So Srivas Thakur was too much afraid. So with this fear, he was worshipping the Sringadev. That time Nimai had not manifested his identity as Bhagavan to anyone. First was Srivas Thakur. So Nimai came and banging on the door. "Srivas, open up. I am that person you are worshipping." Then Srivas opened the door, Nimai Pandit. So Nimai Pandit immediately went onto the altar of Srivas Thakur. He was worshipping the Sringadev, the destroyer of obstacles. So Nimai Pandit sat on the altar of Vishnu, and all the shalagrams he put on his lap. "Worship me, offer me prayers." And then showed 4-handed form to Srivas Thakur. Then later 8-armed form. Many forms he showed Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur was fully shocked. Nimai Pandit is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in great ecstasy he called all his family members. They all worshipped him, washed his feet, drank that water, did arati, offered him so many foodstuffs. "Oh, Srivas, offer prayers to..." By the grace of the Lord, Srivas, you see in Chaitanya Bhagavat, beautiful prayers he offered to Lord Chaitanya. This is first worship of the Lord, accepting him as Bhagavan. So how much mercy Lord Chaitanya gave to Srivas Thakur. So Nimai after that, then of course in the house of Srivas Thakur, that after came the Astapara Prahar. 23 hours he accepted the moon of Lord Vishnu. "I am hungry, Srivas, bring me food." Anyway, this comes a little bit after. But all Vaishnavas ran and everything they had in their house they offered to Lord Chaitanya. Hundreds of branches of bananas, hundreds of kilos of sweets and rice. And Lord Chaitanya took everything like that. So all these things happened in the house of Srivas Thakur. So when Nimai Pandit that time he could not, when he returned he was giving some lectures. But everything he described as Krishna. Dhatu. Dhatu means verbal root. Dhatu also means life air. So they asked Nimai, what is the Dhatu? What is the root of this verb? And Nimai would explain, Krishna is the Dhatu. Krishna is the life air. He is soul of the soul. Like this he would explain. Hour after hour he would just speak Krishna Katha. Then the students complained to Gangadas Pandit, Nimai's guru. He is not explaining properly like before. Then Gangadas smiled. Don't worry, he will become okay. Then after a few days, after 10 days of this type of explanation, Nimai Pandit just tied up his books. I cannot teach like before. I cannot teach. Then the boys said, but what we heard from you, we can never hear from another person. So what will you do? If you stop speaking, we will not hear again. The boys also tied up their books. We will also retire from learning. What should we do? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna, Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha, Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. So Lord Chaitanya began the Sankirtan. And all the boys said, if you can give up everything for Harinam, we will also do the same. So all joined And they would do Harinam Sankirtan every night in the house of Srivas, every night for 1 year. So we consider this the Astakaliya Leela of Lord Chaitanya, from that 1 year after he came back from Gaya to when he took sannyas. So if you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita not touched too much, but Chaitanya Bhagavat so much described the ecstasies of Lord Chaitanya in the house of Srivas Thakur. Sometimes he would shake so much hundreds of people could not hold him. Sometimes he would become so heavy hundreds of people could not lift him. And sometimes he became light like a feather. They would carry him on his head and move him around, carry him around the Sankirtan. Sometimes he would be in the mood of Vishnu. What do you want? Ask me. And devotees would ask him according to their mood. My father is atheist, please give him mercy. My son is atheist, please help him. Give me faith in the spiritual master. And then the next minute, Lord Chaitanya would try to catch everyone's feet. I am fallen, I have no bhakti, give me mercy. So he would change complexion, so many ecstasies. This all in the house of Srivas Thakur. And that 1 year, that was like Ras Leela. Millions of yugas would pass each night in Sankirtan. When the sun would rise, the devotees would curse the sun. Why you are breaking our happiness like this? So many people wanted to see the chanting and dancing of Nimai, but Srivas was given strict orders. Only those who can chant the pure name can enter. Non-devotees cannot see my dancing. So many people would stand outside the house of Srivas and criticize like that. They would laugh and criticize, and our new ones would come. They would laugh and criticize, and the new ones would come. So some people tried to come in. There was one brahmachari. He'd taken a vow of only drinking milk. Again and again he asked Srivas, please, I want to see the chanting and dancing of Nimai Pandit. I want to see. Please, please. Like. So Srivas agreed, okay, but you have to hide a little bit. So during the chanting and dancing again and again, Nimai said, I am not feeling the happiness of Harinam. I think some non-devotee is here. Where is he? And Srivas became afraid. Then that Brahmin said, it cannot be me. I'm a very good person. I only drink milk. Then Lord Chaitanya became very angry at him. Drinking milk is a useless activity. You cannot attain me by drinking milk. Get out, like this. He chastised him and threw him out of the house. But when the Brahmana was leaving, he thought, thinking in his mind, at least I saw one time. I saw one time my life is successful. So in a humble mood, he accepted the Lord's punishment. Then the Lord understood his heart and called him back and preached to him about the glories of Shuddha Bhakti. Bhakteva Darashit. Krishna is seen only by bhakti, not by another thing. Another time, Srivas Thakur's mother-in-law, she was hiding in the laundry basket. And when Lord Chaitanya was dancing again, I am not feeling happiness of Sankirtan. Then Srivas discovered his own mother-in-law. He becomes so angry, he grabbed her by the hair and dragged her out. So dear was the Lord to him. Especially one famous incident is there. One night they were chanting, Srivas Thakur had only one son. And he died in the Harinam. While chanting and dancing, he died. I think his name was Gopal Das. So he died, and then, of course, this is a very sad thing. So they moved his body to the back. The devotees were in the courtyard, they moved his body to the side. Then all the ladies were weeping, naturally. Then Srivas Thakur heard this, and he came. Then he realized if this news spread that my son has died, everyone will weep, everyone will be disturbed. Then Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan pastimes will be destroyed. So Srivas Thakur said to the ladies, I promise you, if your weeping disturbs my Lord, then you weep all you want, but I will go to the Ganga and commit suicide. So keep quiet. So all the ladies, out of fear of Srivas Thakur, all kept quiet. Then they went back to chanting and dancing. So in the morning, Lord Chaitanya, who knows everything, Srivas, has anything bad happened in your house? Then Srivas, Prabhu, no. With your moon-like face is in my house, how anything bad could happen here? You are the form of all auspiciousness. How could any bad thing happen when you are in my house? Then someone mentioned his son died. Imagine. When Lord Chaitanya saw that, he had so much affection for me, even the death of his son not disturb him. Then Lord Chaitanya began crying. Srivas Thakur was not crying. Lord Chaitanya began crying. Because soon he will take sannyas. He was thinking, how can they take sannyas when they have this type of affection for him? Lord Chaitanya began to weep. Then Lord Chaitanya went and touched the dead boy. Oh Gopal, get up. Don't die, come back. Why you are leaving me? Then the soul of that boy came back in the dead body. The boy sat up. Oh Prabhu, millions of lives I am wandering in birth and death, but this life I got so much good fortune. I took the birth in the home of your devotee, and I could see all your Leela. But I am not independent. I go and move by your desire. So now I have to go. My time is up. But wherever I go, I pray I not forget your lotus feet. Then he died again. 2 times in one night. Then Lord Chaitanya, he asked Srivas, perform the funeral ceremony. Srivas, don't be sad. Myself and Nityananda are your eternal sons. He said that to Srivas Thakur. We are your eternal sons. And that is especially true when Nityananda came. And Mahaprabhu indicated to Nityananda, you stay in the house of Srivas. And Nityananda stayed there, especially Malini Devi, Srivas Thakur's wife. She was quite elderly. Means her breasts were dry. She was an elder woman. No? But when she would see Nityananda, then tears would flow from her eyes and her breasts would become full of milk, and Nityananda would drink that milk. Like that. Like own son. So, Nityananda would not even feed himself. Nityananda was 7 feet tall. But he would sit there naked and not even feed himself. Malini would feed with her own hands. So you can imagine Srivas also have how much vatsalya towards Nityananda. One day Mahaprabhu asked, Srivas, why are you keeping this avadut in your house? He have no caste. No one knows who his parents are, where he is born. If you keep him in your house, you're all, what do you call it? Your caste, your, what's the word? Reputation, everything will be finished. Then Srivas said, Lord, are you testing me? No. I tell you, even if I see Nityananda in the wine shop with a very low-class woman on his lap, still I say his feet are worshipable for Brahma or Shiva. When Mahaprabhu heard this, he roared, Srivas, what are you saying? You have this much faith in my Nityananda Prabhu? Like this, and so many blessings he gave to Srivas. So Mahaprabhu did that pastime. Every night he would chant and dance in the house of Srivas. There was one maidservant. She would put the bottles of the clay pots of Ganga water in a line. She would watch the Sankirtan, then she would go and get more water. She would keep and watch the Sankirtan. Her name was Dukhi. Then Mahaprabhu said, how can any servant of Srivas Thakur be Dukhi? So he changed her name to Sukhi. Srivas Thakur had a tailor who was a Muslim. So Muslim, in Islam, they don't drink alcohol at all. But he was an alcoholic. So you can imagine. But when he saw Lord Chaitanya chanting, he would dance and he would shout, Ami Deklam, I have seen Bhagavan, I have seen. So Mahaprabhu said, oh, anyone who have any connection with Srivas Thakur, even the cats and dogs in his house, they are my servants, my eternal servants. Srivas Thakur had a niece, her name was Narayani. And when Lord Chaitanya manifested his mood as Vishnu, if you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, he said, Srivas, are you afraid of the Muslim government? Do not fear. No one can do anything without my direct desire. And Mahaprabhu said, Srivas, I will tell all the Muslims, bring the peers. Peers means like Muslim saints, the mullahs, bring the mullahs, the sheikhs, and I will debate with them about religious principles. I will ask them, can you make the trees weep for love of Krishna? Can you make the birds and animals weep for love of God? Only I can do that. I will give prem to everyone, starting with this small girl. Narayani, her name was. She was 5 years old. Narayani chant Harinam. She was only 5 years old. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the first person Mahaprabhu gave prema to was Srivas Thakur's niece. So how much mercy Mahaprabhu gave that family. Of course, the first Vyas Puja that was also performed in the house of Srivas Thakur. The appearance of Vyas is celebrated by all Sampradayas, but Gaudiya has a little more sweetness in it. So Mahaprabhu said, tomorrow is Guru Purnima, Vyas Purnima, beginning of Chaturmas. We will celebrate in the house of Srivas. Srivas, you have everything? Srivas said, yes, Prabhu, by your grace we have all betel nuts and rice and Brahman threads and everything we have. So he said, tomorrow we will celebrate. So the first Gaudiya Vyas Puja was celebrated in the house of Srivas Thakur. Everyone was doing Sankirtan, that worship picture of Vyas. So Nityananda, he had to put the final garland on the neck of Vyasadeva. But Nityananda was avoiding, he was not doing. So Mahaprabhu came and asked, oh Srivas, why your Sripad, your Nityananda? Why your Sripad is not completing the ceremony? Tell him to put the garland on Vyasadeva. And Nityananda was just going, okay, yes, but he wasn't doing anything. Then Mahaprabhu went close to tell him, the garland goes on Shri Vyasadeva. Then Nityananda took the garland and put on the neck of Mahaprabhu. Gurudev would say, because millions of Vyasadevas come from Mahaprabhu. He is the source of everything. So all these pastimes, who can count the pastimes Mahaprabhu did? And even Ananta Shesh with millions of mouths, he cannot describe the pastimes Gaura Hari performed in one day in the house of Srivas Thakur. So I'll finish here, then we'll ask Pujapad Sadhu Maharaj. One day Mahaprabhu asked Srivas, Srivas, tell me who is Advaita Acharya? This Chaitanya Bhagavat is very funny. Srivas, who is Advaita Acharya? Tell me. And then Srivas Thakur said, Advaita Acharya is very great. He is like Prahlad. He is like Sukadeva Goswami. When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he became so angry. He took a bamboo rod and began to beat Srivas. He said, Prahlad and Sukadeva, these are like children compared to Advaita Acharya. He is Mahavishnu like this. So getting the beating of the Lord, Srivas was very happy also. So many pastimes there, so we'll finish here. What can we say? We are too much lucky to be in Gaudiya Sampradaya, just hearing these things. Guru Maharaj says, just by hearing, is so much fortunate. Oh, one day I will be like that. One day I'd like to serve. So Gurudev said, even if we're not practicing properly, Harikatha is so important. Because when speaking or hearing, then we hear this, oh, I'm not doing kirtan like Srivas. I should try harder. I should do more. So even not following by speaking comes a desire to hear more, do more. And when Lord Chaitanya, he said, even a dog, even a mouse in the house of who is dear to Srivas is dear to me. So when Lord Chaitanya hears so many devotees come to hear about Srivas Thakur, then he becomes too much happy and give blessings. No? So what can we say? Srivas Thakur ki. Put that there.
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadave Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tatbhaktaya Namo Namo Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prasthurvanmitidana Pranamastuni Shri Gurudev Nitya Preshtam Shripad Vastotra Sadeshima Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shiksha Gurudeva Sambhashripad Vastotra Sadeshima Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj Shrimati Krishna Divya Purani Shri Srivas Thakur, whose appearance day is today, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas, Prabhupada Maharaj, everyone, Dandavat Pranam. So, we celebrated the appearance days of Shri Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu first, then Shri Nityananda Prabhu, then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and finally Shri Srivas Pandit. And I think in April, the appearance day of Shri Gadadhar Pandit is coming. So, as we heard, he is the incarnation of Narada, and he's the only one who is Bhakta Tattva in Panchatattva. So you see, we say Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Nityananda Advaita also Prabhu. So these three Prabhus constitute Bhagavad Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, and Shakti Tattva Gadadhar. And Srivas Thakur is Bhakta Tattva. He is the devotee, Bhakta Aikya. He is best of the devotees. And one-pointed devotee, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. He is the head of all Upangas, of all subsequent branches of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tree. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eternally manifested in 4 places. Wherever Sri Nityananda Prabhu is dancing, the house of Shachimata, the house of Raghava Pandit and his sister Damayanti, and the house of Srivas Pandit. Srivasangam. So today in Srivasangam in Mayapur, great festival. It's a great place of pilgrimage for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. That's the place where Mahaprabhu's Kirtan is eternally going on. What is Mahaprabhu's Kirtan? Nothing else but Rasa Lila. Vrindavan, stamping of the feet of Shri Radha and Krishna, and the ankle bells, the karatals, ankle bells. So you heard how Srivas was very apprehensive, very fearful. That Kazi will know, and the king of Bengal will know about the Vaishnavas and Kirtan going on in his house. So they would send warriors, soldiers. Somebody was saying that, oh, king has sent already 2 boats filled with armed soldiers to attack your house. So Kazi really sent some soldiers, but they couldn't really speak anything after they'd seen the Vaishnavas. The Kazi was asking them, what have you seen? They're saying nothing but Hare Krishna. I understand Hare Krishna, but what have you seen? Tell me, what have you seen? What have you heard? They say, Hare Krishna. Nothing but Hare Krishna. So then Kazi decided to come himself. Okay, I'll come myself and I'll punish them. And listen, you, if you continue this noise and this disturbance of public peace, then I will punish you severely. For now, I'll break them right down. So he took his sword and he broke them right down in 2. So there's a place in Srivasanga called Banda. So a place where the Vrindavan was broken. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu collected all the Vaishnavas and they started Kirtan with huge lights. So the son was inspired by father, and father was also inspiring the son. where is that Kazi? Show me that Kazi. It said that when they were going on the way, they were uprooting the trees and using them as weapons. They were approaching Kazi's house. But Kazi was very fearful. He was hiding because the night before he saw one dream. Later he told about that dream to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the crowd wanted to smash Kazi's house. They were completely irritated. They were so angry. So finally Kazi came out and Mahaprabhu sat with him on a veranda. Kazi was sort of a relative to Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, kind of mama, means maternal uncle or something. So they sat together and Mahaprabhu very softly asked him, oh please, don't prevent the chanting of the holy names, Sankirtan, Krishna Sankirtan. God is one. Same Allah you are worshipping, we are worshipping is Krishna and his energies. So please don't impede the Harinam Sankirtan movement. So Kazi said, no, I will not do. Because, the previous night I saw one very, very ferocious entity. I don't know who that was, but he was simultaneously very fearful and very beautiful. So he said, very, very angrily, he said, if you prevent the Sankirtan of movement, then I will tear you to pieces. And he, scratched my chest. So you see the marks. So he saw those scratches. So then Kazi very humbly said, if you want any help, you please tell me if I can do something for you. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, actually, a cow is a mother for everyone. And here you allow your followers to kill cows. This is completely irreligious. I'm requesting you to please forbid the cow killing here in Mayapur area. So then Kazi said, all right, I will never allow any cow to be killed. Cow is the mother. There are 7 mothers. I know we have some new friends from Muslim background, so from Bali. So we should know there are 7 mothers. Atma Mata Guru Maitri Brahmani Rajapatnika Dhenu Datri Tata Prithvi Saptaita Matara Smrita. 7 mothers. Your own mother. Then Atma Mata Guru Maitri, mother of your Guru. Guru Maitri Brahmani, the wife of Brahmana. The wife of the king, the queen. Then Dhenu means cow, wet nurse giving milk to babies, and Mother Earth. So 7 mothers. So if you commit violence to one or more, then you will have very, very severe reactions. First of all, in the form of wars. You can see so many wars going on now, especially in those places where cows are being killed massively. So Kazi became a Vaishnava actually, and we worship his samadhi. That is just next to Old Huge Temple there. So, his descendant, another Kazi, came in the midst of Vaishnavas in the pages of Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that same Kazi. So then when Babaji Maharaj and Vaishnavas asked him, please tell me who you worship. He said, well, we worship actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said. Although they're Muslim, they maintain the tradition, they're actually the worshippers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so all of his generations were Vaishnavas as well. So then when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard from Pujapad Damodar Maharaj was performing night past kirtan pastimes, then one young brahmana, I think Maharaj didn't tell the story of him. You told? Young brahmana on milk? No.
Yes,
So
yes.
okay, there was another brahmana who was very envious. His name was Chapal Gopal. So he was living nearby, but he was thinking, oh, those so-called Vaishnavas, the followers of Srivas, are actually doing the wrong thing, because they're not supposed to yell and shout all night like mad. The holy names are to be uttered very softly, And more people were thinking, oh, they're probably glorifying Mother Durga, but they're doing that too loud and out of the place, out of the time, improper time. So they are making a lot of noise. So Chapal Gopal decided to defame the holy Srivas. And he thought, oh, I will prove everyone that he's actually worshipping Kali, but doing that improperly. So he took the paraphernalia for worship Kali, he took special red flowers, he took some green leaves, he took some other paraphernalia, and put it, fish, yes, some meat, wine. And they put all those paraphernalia on the threshold of Srivas's house. And he was thinking, now,
On a big tray.
oh yes, on the big tray. So he was thinking, now he will definitely be defamed. So then Srivas Pandit in the morning went out of his house when Mahaprabhu stopped Kirtan and he chanted his Gayatri mantras. He'd make some break for 3 hours, like 21 hours, every night that Kirtan was going on. So then Mahaprabhu was in some peaceful mood for 3 hours. So at that time Srivas went on the threshold and he saw, such paraphernalia. But imagine his humility. He was not shouting, hey, help me, police, what's going on? No. He said, look, oh dear neighbors, dear well-wishers, see how sinful I am. Actually, I'm a great pretender. I'm pretending to be a great saint. Actually, I'm just worshipping Kali. And that's the proof. Somebody has helped me to prove you that I'm worshipping Kali. So all the neighbors came and they were completely shocked. Oh, what kind of defamation is going on? Somebody wants to defame the holy Srivas. Who is that irreligious person? So that was actually Chapal Gopal. And as a result of his great offense, Chapal Gopal got a great disease, leprosy. In a few days, he was afflicted with leprosy and he was full of wounds, worms, pus, oozing from his wounds all over his body. So the residents of the town just let him out because he was so contagious. So he was sitting out, and then later when Mahaprabhu visited that area again, I think after he received sannyas, yes, a long time after, then Chapal Gopal was still alive and he was sitting there on the outskirts of the town completely bewildered. So he saw Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he was thinking, that person again. Well, people say that he's God himself. Let me try my fortune. Oh, respected personality, please look at my misfortunate condition. Please see how unhappy I am. I am afflicted with leprosy. Oh, great sinful rascal, you will be rotting in hell for thousands of lifetimes because you dared to try to defame my devotee Srivas. So the only thing can save you now if you go and apologize to Shri Srivas Thakur's lotus feet. So then Chapal Gopal went to the lotus feet of Srivas and received forgiveness. So there was another case.
Srivas embraced him and his body became...
Yes. Then Srivas embraced him and his body became fully free from leprosy. So that is not the only case when Srivas Prabhu was defamed and then offended and then he forgave his offender. That the case was about Devananda Pandit. So Shri Devananda Pandit was a great scholar of Bhagavatam, but actually he was not a devotee. So Mahaprabhu was walking up and down in Navadvip and he noticed Devananda's class. He was telling Srimad Bhagavatam, but Mahaprabhu was so much absorbed in the high moods that he was attracted by the verses of Bhagavatam spoken by Devananda. So he entered the assembly and he was listening in, and he was so much absorbed in the sweet recitation of Bhagavatam that even though Devananda was not a devotee, Srivas felt some ecstatic mood. So he started rolling on the ground, he started crying like this, expressing his ecstatic condition. So then the disciples of Devananda considered that a violation of order, and then he took him out of the assembly, and Devananda didn't protest, didn't say anything, so he was an accomplice for the offense. So then finally, or even before that, Mahaprabhu saw Devananda and he chastised him. He was thinking, you think that only by learning you can conceive the meaning, internal meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is never possible. Never possible. Don't think that by your learning you can conceive the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. So then Devananda also received that as blessing. But then Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore decided to give very special blessing and deliverance for Devananda through one great devotee whose name was Vakreshwar Pandit. So Vakreshwar Pandit was a great dancer and reciter of great poetry and devotional scriptures. So there was a great program in that place in Navadvip area. For 72 hours, Vakreshwar Pandit, who is, I think, incarnation of Aniruddha, isn't he? So he was able to dance for 72 hours, 3 days and nights in a row, without stop. And Devananda took one seva, one service. He was physically strong, so he was preventing the crowd of disturbing Devananda in his dance, his mood. So he was standing very strong and he was preventing the crowd from touching Devananda. So thus a lot of time passed, and when finally Devananda Prabhu, filled with devotional ecstasies, finished his singing, his dancing, then he embraced Devananda. He just, filled with great feelings, embraced Devananda. So then Devananda received all of his mercy. And then when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later saw Devananda again, said, "Oh, Devananda, you received the great mercy of my devotee, Vakreshwar, so therefore now go to Srivas, go to Srivas who you offended and please beg forgiveness from him." So Devananda did, and he received deliverance from his offense. I think that happened when Mahaprabhu returned, and that place where Devananda received forgiveness, many others who were envious from Mahaprabhu, they received forgiveness as well. So in that place, Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj built his Devananda Gaudiya Math, named after Devananda Pandit. So these two personalities, Devananda and Chapal Gopal, received mercy of Shri Srivas Pandit. So devotees are very merciful. They never take offense. But the dust from their lotus feet does take offense. So we have to be very cautious meditating on these two leelas. Never criticize any Vaishnava. Never think that you are so learned and so knowledgeable. So Srila Gurudev was teaching, don't be proud by your intelligence like this. So there are some more pastimes, and I want to give chance for brahmacharis to speak if you can remember something. The pastime of Hera Panchami, where Srivas also had his role, and some more pastimes which were not told. So maybe Dubhushan Prabhu could speak. Shri Srivas Pandit Prabhu ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande.
Don't go away with my mic.
Oh. You can attach to your...
Put it on his nose. So handsome.
Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Vanchakalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Vakyaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Saktikam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ramo Hare Hare. My Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my holy masters, Nitya Lila Wisdom, Vishnupada Sudarasata Sishimat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Om Vishnupada Sudarasata Sishimat Krishna Piri Thakur, Om Vishnupada Sudarasata Sishimat Bhakti Vedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Sisi Guru Parampara, all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. So we heard the example of devotion, the expression Srivas Thakur gave in this world. Amazing. I never heard such a surrendered soul, who can hide the emotions of leaving the son. His son died, and only thinking of Mahaprabhu. Don't disturb Mahaprabhu. So this is total surrender, complete surrender. So one time Mahaprabhu asked Srivas, "Oh Srivas, you have no job, and you host us every day. You have to maintain your family, but you're not working. So how you do this?" And Srivas Thakur, he clapped 3 times. And Mahaprabhu said, "What is the meaning? You clap 3 times." And Srivas says, "Oh, my master, if one day we have nothing to eat, then we will fast. If the second day there is nothing to eat, we will also fast. But if the 3rd day nothing comes, then my whole family, we give up our life in the Ganga." He means somebody who's fully surrendered. He knows Krishna is maintaining me. Anupuyasya samkalpa pratikuyasya vajinam raksiks vasvasve visvaso koptrive vadanam tata atmanikshepa rapanye satvida saranakati. So surrendering means Krishna is my maintainer and he is my protector. I do only what is pleasing Krishna, and I give up what is not pleasing Krishna. And total surrender and complete humility. So all these qualities we could see in Srivas Thakur. So if you are completely surrendered, Saranagati, you have no worries at all. You know Krishna is maintaining me. I only have to serve. So this is a beautiful example Srivas Thakur gives. So many times we devotees think, oh, I have to make money, I have to work. But Srivas Thakur, he had not this kind of thoughts in his mind. Only thinking, how can I please my master? How can I please my master? Don't tell about the death of my son. No, Mahaprabhu's happiness, that is most important. Wow, such an example. So this Sanarkati, this we have to practice also, step by step, to understand Krishna is maintaining me. He is protecting me. I don't have to worry about anything. So many, many beautiful examples we heard. And we can learn from these great personalities, what they have done in this world. So by meditating on them, we can also grow in bhakti, and we can pray for their protection and their practice, that some drop of their moods can come in our heart, so our bhakti will also grow. Sri Srivas Thakur ki Achyutananda.
Where's Captain?
Achyuta. Oh, Mahamant.
Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. After my Prasad Puspanjali to the lotus feet, Nichilita Pravistom, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, our Guru Parampara. I offer my respects to the sannyasis present here and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So Srivas Thakur He's incarnation of Narada Muni. And when Damodar Maharaj was just speaking, he was mentioning that it was in the house of Srivas Thakur that Narayani got the mercy of Mahaprabhu. She received Krishna Prem. I think she was the one that was sucking on his toe, wasn't she? No? Oh, that was... Anyway, by that mercy, she gave birth to Vrindavan Das Thakur. Vrindavan Das Thakur, incarnation of Vedavyas. So there's some connection there, like we see like in the pastimes of Vyasadeva, when he was meditating in his cave up in Badrinath. Then Narada Muni came, flying through the sky, his guru, to give him instruction after he compiled all the Vedas. So that is Krishna Leela, and this is Chaitanya Leela, but some connection is there. So,
Hara-Panchami pastimes?
that seems like a pretty, I don't know that pastime so well. So Srivas Thakur, his house is not an ordinary place. So many leelas took place in that house. And when, we heard, we heard everything. Damodar Maharaj explained very nicely.
We heard one drop in the ocean.
The dancing that went on inside the house of Srivas Thakur was beyond this world, and only most qualified personalities could enter. So even, it's kind of inconceivable when you think of how all these residents, all these persons were living in Navadvip at the same time as Lord Chaitanya, but still they were shut out. They couldn't enter into that special mood. So in the same way, we see so many Vaishnavas all over Vrindavan. How many people are coming here? So the association is everything. We have to try to qualify ourselves so we can actually receive those special moods by hearing very, very submissively, very attentively, with the right desire, and to surrender. It's not an easy thing to surrender. Like when that Brahmin who was hiding in Srivas's house, and then Mahaprabhu became very angry because, you think you can purchase me by just eating milk and fruits? Why are you thinking like this? Like it's described that Krishna cannot be achieved by any amount of tapasya, by any amount of austerities, fruitive activities, any type of, any other activity other than pure devotion. So, this Brahmin, he was chastised severely. He was thrown out. But as he was leaving, because in his heart he became humble, he said, like he was feeling, he actually had the right mood. And because Mahaprabhu saw his heart, that he'd been, that he took the chastisement in the proper way. He wasn't going to retaliate. He wasn't thinking, why Mahaprabhu acted so severely with me? I'm an okay person, Why he had to, be so heavy? But no. So he accepted that I needed this chastisement. I deserved it. I accept it. And I want to reform myself. So then he turned around and
Mahaprabhu called him, he said, you come back. He didn't just kick him out and say, forget it, you're finished. No. Because he had the right mood, he was called back into the house. And I think I understood that he became part of that very fortunate group of persons who were invited to dance and reciprocate with Mahaprabhu's mood inside the I was going to say the Gambhira, but Srivas Thakur's house. Such a special place. Like when Srivas, clapped his hands 3 times, Mahaprabhu asked him, what is that? What is that? Why are you clapping 3 times? And, he said, if one, like Indu Bhusham just mentioned that pastime. So, what was I going to say? When he came back, no. So then Mahaprabhu was very, very pleased with Srivas Thakur, and he said, even Lakshmi herself will have to go out begging, but you will never have any want in your house. So these kind of things we see many, many times in Mahaprabhu's Leelas. Like even when Sachi Mata was cooking for hundreds and hundreds of devotees, so there was always bhoga available. There was always a fresh supply. Where is it coming from? But it's always appearing. So this is because Krishna is the supreme mystic. He has all the, everything is being supplied. Just like Didi. Where is Didi? Where is she getting everything to provide for everyone? What is coming? It's a very mystical thing. So we have to have faith that when we fully surrender, that everything will be provided. In this way we can achieve success in our devotional life. Srivas Thakur ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama.